Shalom, 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 ay, shalom, ay, shalom. All right, so I praise the Most High. So I made a lesson about the purim, Queen Esther herself, the greatest queens of all. Okay, did I say king? Okay, anyways, we're gonna be talking about Queen Esther in this video. As some of you are approaching Purim, for me, I already celebrated Purim, but some of you are approaching Purim. And on the sister chat yesterday on the wellness call, we was all talking about, sharing some things about what we're gonna do for the Purim, how we're gonna approach the Purim. So I thought this was a great, awesome time to do this. So all right, let's get into it. So Queen Esther herself, okay? So this is the book that took place in Esther. This day we celebrated by feasting, going over events mentioned in the book of Esther. Also, a time to give gifts to one another in gladness. So around this time, we're usually feasting, exchanging gifts with whoever you're congregating with. So Esther 9 and 21, it says, to establish this among them that they should keep the 14th day of the month of Adar, the 15th day, the same of the same yearly. So we are to keep this every year. So if Lord's willing, we're still here. But cousins, so these two were cousins. Queen Esther, Mordecai, they was cousins, okay? So, Queen Esther herself is the cousin of Mordecai. She was raised by her cousin Mordecai. She became the queen of Persia and she ended up saving her people by her bravery and cousin's demand. So, Mordecai basically raised Esther, like I said right here. So, Mordecai was the cousin of Esther and he was from the tribe of Benji. And if you know, Benji know how to spice their food, okay? Benji, okay, don't blame. If you some of you don't know who is Benji, is basically Jamaicans. So he warned his cousin of the guards' plan to destroy the king of Persia. In the hopes that she would relay the message, he raised Esther and gave her a specific duty not to explain her heritage to others and that she was Hebrew, and she obeyed. So baby girl was submissive. Okay, she was submissive. So king and the queen of Persia. So before Esther came through the scene, Vashti was the queen of Persia. So Queen Vashti was the wife of King Xerxes, and she was banished from the king because of her lack of obedience to his demands, and he wanted to show her off, like basically, show off her beauty and stuff like that, but she did not want to do that at the king's drunken banquet, but she refused. At the time, that was a disgrace, especially because she was an example to a lot of women and she wasn't submissive. And the king didn't want, other people following her behavior. Because in the Bible, it speaks about how a woman should be submissive to her husband, and she wasn't doing that. So that was a bad outlook, and it was gonna cause women to feel like, okay, well, I can be disrespectful to my husband and say no and do this and do that and the third. So he had to push out the scene. Okay. The guards plan and plot. So the guards, they were there to basically wanted to what's the word? Wait, like it basically says assassinate King Xerxes. They want him out of there, okay? So out of anger, but their plot was uncovered by Mordecai, who reported it to Queen Esther, leading to their execution by hanging in the event recorded in the Royal Chronicles, setting the stage for later events in the Book of Esther. So Haman, okay, Haman, he was a hater, okay? He was a hater, all right? So Haman, on the count of his attempt to exterminate the Jews in the kingdom of Xerxes, he was frequently called the persecutor of the Jews. So he tried to make a gallows and hang basically Mordecai on it, but that didn't stand. Okay, so he basically got hung by the same gallows that he put out for Mordecai. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play my song that I made for the Purim really quick. I made this like a year ago, and I was like, he was hung on the same gallows that he put for Mordecai. Like, Yes, because like how you gonna get you got hung by the same gala that you put out for Mordecai. It's crazy. But in the meanwhile, while that's loading, I'm gonna read this real quick. So it says, the king chose Esther. Different women were presented before the king, but he chose Queen Esther out of all the women to be the next queen in a replacement of Vashti. So Esther 2:17 says, now the king was attracted to Esther more than any other women. Okay, she saw all the other women. And she won his favor and approval more than any other virgins. So he set a royal crown on her head and made her the queen of queen instead of Vashti. And the king gave a great banquet, Esther's banquet, for all his nobles and officials, and he proclaimed the holiday throughout basically the whole place, and distributed gifts and royal liberty. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna try to play my song. YouTube. This is for what they say, educational purposes only. Okay. All right. We made it to the pearl. This song is it's a pearl. He was hung on the same gallows that he put for more. Okay, yeah. So if y'all want to know the song, it's my name that's already presented right there, Israel. And then look up Purim, and it's on SoundCloud. So yes, he was hung on the same gallows that he put for Mordecai. Like anyway, so Esther went through schooling. So she went through schooling. So this is Esther 2:12. It says the young women were given beauty treatments for 1 whole year. The first 6 months, their skin was rubbed with oil and myrrh. In the last 6 months, it was treated with perfumes, cosmetics. Then each of them spent the night along with Xerxes. So she went through a 12-month period of treatments, which is a whole year. Okay, so she went through beauty treatment. She went through like schooling, how to cook, clean, how to prepare stuff, how to She went through all of that, and I think that is so beautiful because like while we don't have that in modern time, I feel like we should be having this in modern time. Okay. So, key rituals of Esther's beauty treatments. Now, you can look this up online because I copied and pasted right here. So, the ritual was the 12-month period was mandatory for purification or beautification process for the young women in the harem. So, she had to go through healing. She had to go through that purification. The Most High had to purge out the old and bring in the new. Okay. So, phase one, oil and myrrh, 6 months, used for skincare, cleansing, potentially healing. Perfumes and cosmetics for 6 months involved spices, perfumes, and other specialized preparations to enhance the appearance. Final touches upon the completion, the women could choose any clothing or jewelry for the harem to take the king's palace. Purpose: the treatments of the women physically to basically change their appearance, their physical appearance before the king, with Esther ultimately winning his favor. Okay. So Esther fasted for 3 days. If you guys haven't watched my video, I made a video about the Esther fast that I did. But Esther, yeah, she fasted for 3 days to save the Jews, to save her people. So Esther 4:16 says, go gather together all the Jews that are presented in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink for 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so I will go unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish. So she was willing to die for this. Okay, she was willing to die to save her people. She was willing to die. Okay, so why did she fast? Esther fasted for 3 days to seek divine intervention and courage before approaching the Persian king uninvited to plead for her people's lives as a decree threatened them with annihilation. I think that's how I say it. She called for the Jews to join her in this intense corporate fast, demonstrating faith and self sacrifice to ask God to reverse the plot, aligning with schemes of deliverance and atonement. So, in this time, all she had was to depend on the Lord. And that's how we must be when we don't know what decision to make, which way to go, and you feel like you can't handle this on your own. We have to pray and fast and allow the Lord to act. So Esther saved her people. She was obedient, she was submissive, she was willing to put down her feelings and her emotions to save her people. She said, whether I die, I die. Whether I perish, I perish. That's a line, that's a bar. Okay? Esther's 3-day fast, she courageously approached King Xerxes without being summoned, risking death. The king welcomed her and leading to a series of banquets where she revealed Haman's plot to destroy the Jews. Consequently, Haman was executed and a new decree allowed the Jews to defend themselves, resulting in their triumph. Esther. So she was bold in faith, she was submissive, she was humble, she was loving, she was obedient, she was brave. So we must take after these roles. So I'm gonna let you give you a moment, right? Write down these roles, okay? Feel free to screenshot. These things aren't easy to do, okay? These things aren't easy to do, but guess what? They're possible. So we must practice them, to be obedient, to be brave, to fight for your people, to be unselfish. Okay, she didn't just pray for herself, but she prayed for her people. Okay, feast with gladness. So for some people that may be just starting off with this year, first time purim celebrators, or if you just want some ideas to cook. Now I did make a video already on my channel of the purim. I already made a video on it, so if you guys want to go watch, I only made something simple, because I was basically alone at the time. But mac and cheese, steak with rosemary, dinner rolls, baked chicken, meatballs, seasoned rice, sweet potatoes, mini sub bar, orange chicken, pot roast, beans and rice, stuffed peppers, rotel, wings, baked beans with ground beef and veggies. So you can choose from any one of those, or you can look up some like food ideas off of Pinterest or something like that. And do what you're willing to your liking. But these are some ideas if you don't know what to make. Now we're gonna go into some desserts. So desserts, we have cheesecake bowls. I don't know about y'all, but I've been seeing on TikTok, it's been going viral. People been having like, it looks like a bowl like this, but it's a cheesecake bowl, and you put like the strawberries on top, the strawberry puree, and then the Biscoff cookies like around. Ooh, I'm telling y'all, that looks so good. Okay, lemon cake, brownies, flan, cookies, banana pudding, ice cream bar, or a s'more fudge fountain bar. And I seen these right here over there to the side, those donuts, those lavender donuts. I never in my entire being of life heard of lavender donuts. Like, that looks so good. I'm trying to make that look as well. So something to do, to get in the Esther spirit, treat your brothers and sisters with love, with love during the feast, Romans 12:10, and then submit to the Lord, serve with purpose, Colossians 3:23, Matthew 22:37, anoint yourself with olive oil and myrrh, serve with joy, leave your burdens at the door, and pray for Israel. So those are some things to do to stay in the spirit. Stay in the spirit and sorry, so like yeah, just basically stay in the spirit. I think that was all I had. Yes, but Queen Esther, she was that girl, okay? And one of the things that I love about Queen Esther is that she was obedient. She never questioned what Mordecai had to say. She never complained about going through a 12-month, a whole year of purification. She didn't complain about that. She did everything that Mordecai asked her to do. She didn't complain. She was willing to go through the process that she needed to go to. She was willing to be brave to save her people. And a lot of people in today's time will be like, I'm not doing that, okay? I am not finna die for nobody. I'm not finna die for nobody. People be like, I'm not doing that, okay? But sis said, if I die, I die. If I perish, I perish. And that's just that. And that's just that on that. So we must be the same way when it comes to this truth. And saving our people, saving people that's close to us, or, you know, stuff like that. But I just want to say all praise to the Most High for allowing me to make this lesson. I hope you guys took some pointers and some keys from this. Now, I will also be making like a separate video of me just doing a voiceover. So I can basically allow you guys to take time to screenshot it, to take notes. You also can go on my TikTok. I think I forgot my TikTok name. I'm gonna try to put it in the description below, basically. But yeah, so hopefully you guys got edified by this video. But like I said, when it comes to this feast day, put all the burdens to the side, put everything to the side, and give it to the Most High God. Put everything to the side and allow Him to work on your attitude or whatever your feelings, emotions that's trying to come in the way the feast days. Because I feel like these spirits get real strong anytime that we get near to these feast days. Because these spirits want us to get out of the spirit. We must keep these feast days and keep them holy, as we are also entering into the Sabbath. Leave all your burdens. Leave all your burdens at the door. But with that, I just want to say shalom. And as we are entering the Shabbat, okay, rest good. Yep. Okay, rest good. I just want to say Shabbat shalom.